Hey up, and here we go. I'm doing a review. What am I doing a review on? I'm doing a review on No Mercy. No Mercy. I was umming and ahhing whether I was going to do a review on No Mercy, but once I watched it, I thought, Jesus, I've got a lot to talk about. We have got a lot to talk about today. It was a big show last night. I didn't watch it live because I was like, well, I've got a busy week this week at university. It's the first week back, so I was like, I probably shouldn't watch up. I probably shouldn't stay up until like 1 a.m. 4 a.m. to watch wrestling, so I didn't, and I've caught up with it now, and it's quite a lot to talk about, isn't there? There were some really good bits, and there's some really shit bits, and the problem was, the shit bits were the bits I was actually looking forward to, and the good bits were the things I didn't think were going to be good bits, but they were actually quite good. I mean, it's all a bit confusing, but we are going to break it all down in today's No Mercy review, but it is a review, so that means one thing and one thing only. Not only am I going to review the show, you guys need to review the show, so get down in the comment section and comment what you thought of No Mercy as well. Let me know down below. I'm sure we're going to have a bit of disagreements here and there. However, it is my opinion. You guys have your opinion. Let me know your opinion down below. And that's how we're going to go. Anyway, let's get into it. So, No Mercy kicked off with The Miz against Jason Jordan. If there's one guy who I think you want to sort of... If you want a guy to put on a good match to start the show, who will consistently put on a good match for you at the start of a show, you can trust them. You're like, yo, mate, you can put on a good match. You will kick off this show well. It would be The Miz. When does The Miz have a bad match? He just consistently performs. He's one of the most consistent performers in the WWE, I think. Alongside maybe AJ Styles, Roman Reigns, I think The Miz is up there. He consistently performs. I can't remember the last time he had a bad match. So for him to go up against Jason Jordan to kick off the show was a very good idea. And I wasn't really expecting to enjoy this match very much. I just wasn't. It just didn't really sound like a great idea. Were they going to put all the belt on Jason Jordan and just fuck it? Or was Miz just going to retain? Turns out, Miz retains. But it was a 15-minute decent match. It was one of the better matches on the show. It was good. I quite enjoyed this. I really liked it when Jason Jordan suplexed The Miz into the Miztourage. That was pretty good. But apart from that, very solid match. I really enjoyed it. It was one of the better matches on the show, and it surprised me. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it as much as I did, and it was good. I think Jason Jordan is going to get a rematch against The Miz, and he probably eventually will win the belt, but the crowd were very much in favour of The Miz here, and they weren't really very much in favour of Jason Jordan. But can you really blame them? I don't think anybody's ever going to get behind Jason Jordan with this stupid Kurt Angle thing. And what annoyed me a little bit even more was they did a post-match interview with Jason Jordan. The crowd were booing him and all that sorts, and they really weren't liking it. They weren't taking to Jason Jordan, and he still cut like a babyface promo, like, oh, I'm disappointed, I really don't like The Miz, blah, blah, blah. It's just not going to work, is it? It just isn't going to work as Jason Jordan a good guy. I think he needs to turn heel. He just does. He just needs to be a bad guy. It's just not working out for him as a good guy, and you can clearly see that. They've even had to turn Roman Reigns into a bad guy, because that just wasn't working, and you can just see this going down a similar path. It's never going to work until you turn him into a bad guy. And I think he could really work as a bad guy. Really well. Sort of using Kurt Angle as sort of opportunities that he doesn't really deserve, like he kind of did here, really. And that can work, but he's just not really pulling it off, is he? Good match, though. Very good match. I'm just not into the whole Jason Jordan good guy character thing with Kurt Angle's son. It's just not clicking at all, and you can see it bright as day. It's just never going to work, so change it quickly. I thought they were going to put the belt on Jason Jordan here, sort of like a sink or swim kind of idea, where like, put the belt on Jason Jordan. If it fails, it fails. If it works, bloody brilliantly. But they didn't. They put it back on The Miz, which, yeah, to be fair, he's been a great champion. So there you go. He'll probably get a rematch anyway. Next match, we got Finn Balor defeating Bray Wyatt. Why is this match happening again? I don't really know why it happened again. It wasn't very good at SummerSlam. They never really meshed at SummerSlam, and they kind of meshed here, but I couldn't really care about it, because one, I didn't really get why this match was happening again, and I even had to Google, during my predictions video, who won the first match at SummerSlam, so I really wasn't that invested in this whole feud at all. This story, nah, it wasn't really doing anything for me. It's like, come on, surely you can find somebody else for Finn Balor to face at No Mercy. Surely you can find somebody else to face Bray Wyatt. Why do you have to do the same match again? It wasn't very good at SummerSlam, and it was alright here, but I just couldn't really care that much. I just couldn't care. Could you guys care? I couldn't care. I can't make myself care if I don't care, and that's how it's just going to work. Finn Balor wins. Is he going to use this momentum for anything? Probably not. Probably not. He's probably not going to do anything with it. He should. Just put him with the club or something, and then he can actually do something. They need to work it out with Finn Balor. They need to work out what they're trying to do with Finn Balor. Because these kind of pointless feuds with Bray Wyatt, they're not really cutting it. He's a lot better than that. Get him back in the title picture with bloody Brock Lesnar. That would be good. Anyway, we'll get onto that Brock Lesnar match. But yeah, do something with Finn Balor. Use this win for something, please. But yeah, I think this match might have been a little bit better than their match at SummerSlam, but I couldn't really care. So yeah. Next match was the Raw Tag Team Championship match, which was very, very good. But I think the commentary table were exaggerating a little bit how good it actually was. Booker T was like, oh my god, that's the best match I've ever seen in tag team wrestling. It wasn't, mate. The New Day against Usos at SummerSlam was a lot better than this. This was good. It was good, but it wasn't that good. Now, to be fair though, when I did see that move, where I think Cesaro powerbombed Seth Rollins onto Dean Ambrose, that was fucking sick. And then when Dean Ambrose kicked out, that was even sicker. I was like losing my mind. I was like, hang on a minute, this is actually quite a good match. Yeah, it was good. And the choreography to end the match, where Sheamus accidentally bro-kicked Cesaro, and then we got Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins doing the finisher, they retained the titles, that was all nice, it worked really, really well, but the highlight was obviously Cesaro losing his bloody teeth. Not just one tooth, he lost two. Bloody hell. That's not good, is it? It really wasn't good. That was horrific. If that happened to me, I'd be fucking pissed. But for him to finish the match, like 10 minutes later, blood pouring down his face, you got to give credit to Cesaro. That was awesome. How the hell does he do that? And then takes that ridiculous powerbomb and, oh my god, that was crazy. Anyway, I really enjoyed this match. It was very, very good. We've seen better tag team matches down the years. Cody Rhodes and Goldust against The Shield was better. The New Day against the Usos at SummerSlam was better. The Shield had very, very good matches against the Usos. So, yeah, this wasn't like a classic, I don't think it was. I didn't feel that when I was watching it. Some people might, but it was good. But I'm a bit concerned where we go from here. Where do we go from here? Does Dean and Seth, what do they do? What the bloody hell do they do? Is he going to feud with, like, Goldust and R-Truth? I don't think that's a thing anymore. Heath Slater and Rhino? I don't think that's a thing anymore. I don't know. There isn't really a lot of teams. You can't just throw them to the club because they're not doing anything with the club. So, are they going to, like, team up the Shield to take on the club with Finn Balor? Something like that. That would be good. But at TLC? I don't know. I don't know. Let me know down below. Anyway, Asuka, she's coming to Raw. She's coming to TLC. Tell me what you think about that. I think she should have gone to SmackDown, to be honest. However, there you go. Anyway, we got the Raw Women's Championship match. Alexa Bliss, the champion, walks in, walks back out again with the championship. Quite a short match, but I wasn't really a fan of this. And you know why I wasn't a fan of this? Because they just don't build up characters. Bayley comes back last week. She gets added to the match. Sasha Banks, she's been in the title picture so many times, and she's lost the title so many times. Why should I care? You've got Nia Jax, who, is she friends with Alexa Bliss? Isn't she friends with Alexa Bliss? I don't know. I don't think they even know. And Nia Jax, she's supposed to be a beast, so why did she even have friends anyway? I don't think they can quite work out what they want to do with Nia Jax. And then you got Emma, who, she's been off TV for a while, changes a gimmick, goes back to it, she's gone off TV for a while, then she gets added into this match. Do they even know what they're doing with this division? They don't. How can you expect me to get invested into this match when half of the people in it I'm not convinced should be in this match? And it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. It wasn't that impressive. It didn't impress me. We've had a lot better multi-women matches. WrestleMania 32. Oh, that was so much better than this one. And I think we kind of had this sort of match at WrestleMania this year, and that wasn't very good either. So, yeah, when they don't know what they're doing, they always just throw them all into one match and hope for the best, and it never really works. We could have easily had a singles match here if you actually built up your characters properly and let us care about it. I don't think there was a single promo cut for this match to build up this match. Because when I was watching the promo, the package before the match, there was not a single promo cut by any of these women. They need to get on the mic. They need to build their characters. Why should we care? We don't care. This division is so illegitimate. It's just ridiculous. They need to sort it out. Get some proper characters. There's only Alexa Bliss, who I care about now. I can't care about Sasha, because she always bloody loses the title. I can't really work out Nia Jax that much, and she's shit at wrestling. Emma, she just loses all the time. And Bayley, she's only come back, so we'll give her a pass. But yeah, let me know what you thought about that match. I wasn't impressed, people. I wasn't impressed at all. Roman Reigns against John Cena. I was actually looking forward to this one more than I was looking forward to the main event. The main event. Now, this was one of two main events, apparently, even though it came 2 hours after the show started. We got Roman Reigns actually defeating John Cena. If there's one guy that can defeat John Cena, maybe AJ Styles, it's going to be Roman Reigns. I predicted Reigns was going to win. And by the way, my predictions were shit. They were so bad for this show. But I actually got this one right. I thought, since John Cena was going for a bit, he's off. He's like fucking off to do movies or something. Then surely Reigns should benefit from this match and get the win. And he did. Now, this match took a bloody while to get started, didn't it? It took a while to get a little bit interesting. The first half was a bit sluggish. And then from then, it was a little bit hard to sort of get invested into it. It sort of got going, but it got a little bit ridiculous at one point. Now, just before the match started, you had John Cena, like, grinning. There was, like, a chant going on in the crowd. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what it was, but John Cena was sort of grinning. He was like, and then he walked off. Like, mate, you're about to face, like, a guy that's a lot bigger than you, potentially a lot stronger than you, a lot more dangerous than you, and you're grinning. Like, fucking take the match seriously. I know he's just playing a character, but fucking play the character. Like, sell the actual match, the hype of the match. Like, it's Roman Reigns, mate. Stop fucking grinning. You've got a huge match against him. Like, I hate it when he does that. I hate it when he does that. But anyway, this match, the second half was a lot better, but then it got into a little bit of ridiculous territory because Cena hit about 4 AAs, 1 through the table, and then he hit like 2 in a row. He'd hit like fucking 8, mate. He hit like 8, and then Roman kicks out, and then he hits 1 spear, and he wins. To be fair, though, I did really like that Superman punch, and then the spear, and then the quick ending. Like, I think Cole was speaking at one point, and then the Superman punch goes in, and then it also goes by surprise. Like, whoa! I love that move's actually pretty decent, the Superman punch. Then he hits the spear, then he wins. But come on, at least hit Cena with a few more spears before that, because he hit about 4 AAs, Roman kicks out, then Roman hits one of his finisher, and then he wins the match. There's like no consistency there. However, I did think it was good. I actually enjoyed it. I can see why you wouldn't enjoy it because of that alone. But I thought it was going to be better than it was. Both double main events were not as good as they were supposed to be. I think they're going to do this match again at like the Royal Rumble when Cena comes back and he's like, mate, I want to face you again. Hopefully it's better this time. I think if they had a stipulation, it might be a little bit better. They had it like TLC match, Hell in a Cell, Steel Cage, something, because something was lacking. I don't know what it was. I think the first half of the match needed working out because it wasn't great. There was too many rest holds. I think even the crowd were chanting, this is boring at one point. This is supposed to be like your biggest match you can put on, like out of all the roster, and people are getting a little bit bored at the start. It wasn't as good as it was supposed to be. Let's move on to the Cruiserweight Championship match, because that was the worst match of the night, and the result was even worse. Most of the results on this show made complete sense, bar probably the main event, you might argue, but this one was dumb as fuck. Like, they've been burying Enzo Amore for weeks, months, like before SummerSlam, and it was no secret that Enzo Amore is in a bit of trouble. He's in the doghouse with Vince McMahon. The guy's backstage. Something to do with like strippers he brought on a bus. He was being loud on a bus. He got kicked off a bus. He was being flaunting his money. Like, even follow him on Instagram. You can see why he rubs people the wrong way. But like he's been treated like shit on TV as well. Got demoted to 205 Live. He got buried by The Miz on Raw like 6 days ago. Like, clearly people don't like this guy. He got tossed around by Big Cass in that feud, and that was a little bit more than him just playing a character. And then he defeats Neville here. Like, this just winds me up. Like, you've spent so long, like the last 2 months, making Enzo look like a dick, and then by the flick of a switch, you're like, oh, by the way, he's now your Cruiserweight champion. Like, how can you expect us to get invested in him when you don't even know what you're doing yourself? Like, do you get me? They've spent like the last 2 months burying this guy, making this guy look worthless, and then the next minute they're like, oh, he's Cruiserweight champion now. How can we get invested in that? How can we invest in your characters when you don't give us a reason to? It's like when they gave like Jinder Mahal, he had like a huge losing streak, and then the next week he became #1 contender, then WWE champion. I think this is even worse, to be honest. Like, That was disgusting. And to beat Neville, who, apart from losing the belt for about a few days when Cesaro had it, he's had it since the Royal Rumble. Then Enzo wins. Now, he did win with a low blow, to be fair to him, which was actually quite well choreographed. It did work quite well, and it was a bit of a shocker. Potentially Enzo turning heel here, and Neville turning face, which I'm not sure I'm too happy about, because Neville's one of the best heels in the company. But even then, I'm like, oh, I can see how they can talk their way out of this. Like, yeah, it was kind of like a cheap victory. You didn't do it the 205 Live way, but we can't get invested in a character you've made look like a joke for the last 2 months. And the Cruiserweight Championship match, if you're a neutral fan who's never watched wrestling before, or you have watched wrestling before but you don't know the people on TV, the Cruiserweight Championship match on this card should be the most exciting, the most fast-paced, the most energetic, the best match on the card. It should be, to a neutral wrestling fan who might not even like wrestling, but is just watching with a friend, this should be the most exciting match. And it was the worst. And it was all down to Enzo Amore. The guy cannot hang with Neville, and you could see that, because we've seen great matches with Neville against Cesaro, against, oh, he slipped my mind, bloody, who he faced at WrestleMania, how have I forgotten his name? But you know what I mean, like, he's put on amazing matches, Austin Aries, he's put on amazing matches, and then he literally couldn't do anything against Enzo, he couldn't do anything. Like, you could tell he was really limited here to what he could perform and what he could do. And then he drops the belt to him. To Enzo Amore, out of anybody on 205 Live, the guy that's not 205 Live worthy, and he drops the belt to him. Anyway, we're going to move on from that match because I'm going to get even more frustrated. The last match, Universal Championship, Brock Lesnar, the champion, walks in and then walks back out again with the championship. Quite a short match. We've seen shorter Brock Lesnar matches. But he defeats Braun Strowman. People very frustrated about this because it's Braun's time. He's so close to being like a great. Like, all they had to do was put the belt on him last night, and they didn't do it. And I sort of thought he was going to do that. I thought Brock Lesnar was just gonna retain his title, and he did. He actually did. The way they built Braun to dominate Brock over the last few weeks was so obvious that they were going to just have Brock Lesnar retain. It was just a little bit too obvious to me, which was frustrating because I wanted Braun to win. But I just sort of knew the way they'd built this match, Brock, in the end, was going to walk out with the belt, the championship, and he did. And it was quite a weird match. Like, Braun Strowman has put on amazing matches in the last few months with Reigns, with Big Show, big dudes. And I'd say Brock Lesnar is one of the best big dudes in the company that we've ever seen. And it was a bit shit. It was a bit sluggish. It was a bit sort of uninteresting. The crowd were... I think the Enzo match before it didn't help because the crowd were a bit dead. Now, this was like a 3-hour show. Not a two and a half hour show. This was a 3-hour show. It went the whole 3 hours. So they were bound to get exhausted at one point. But they got exhausted at the wrong point because it sucked the life out of this match so much that... This was one of the biggest matches they could have made for Brock Lesnar this year, and it was probably one of the worst. His match against Goldberg was a 4-minute extravaganza at WrestleMania. That was really good. The SummerSlam match, really good. A bit short, but really good. And this match just felt a bit sluggish. It felt like it didn't really have a purpose to it. It felt a bit sort of... Yeah, even he put on a good match against Samoa Joe as well at Great Balls of Fire. This just wasn't what we're used to seeing with Braun Strowman. There was nothing really sort of exciting about this, nothing really gifable or funny or entertaining. You sort of just like walked in there, took a few suplexes, it took one F5 by the way, and then lost the match. And I was really stressed out at one point because Braun hit like 4 running power slams. At one point I think he'd hit like 3, and then he didn't even go for the pin. He was like rolling around on the floor like, oh shit, I've hurt my fucking shoulder. No you haven't, mate. Just fucking pin him. I thought that was a bit daft. Like, just fucking pin him. You want to be Universal Champion, don't you? He was just, like, rolling around the floor. But, yeah, and then Brock Lesnar just pounces up, hits 1 F5 after he's hit about 4 running power slams, which have just, like, decimated so many jobbers in the past. And then just walks out with the championship. Sort of like same old Brock Lesnar match, really. And then we're sort of scratching our heads wondering, well, when are we going to see the Universal Champion next? Well, I don't bloody know, guys. I don't bloody know. We're probably not going to see him until maybe Survivor Series. I don't know. It's a bit disappointing, really. But overall, I think the matches we weren't looking forward to delivered, and the matches we were really looking forward to, and some of the biggest matches the company can put on, really didn't really deliver. I'm not sure if I want to see Lesnar against Strowman again, because from what I saw here, I just don't think these guys mesh that well. Which is weird, because Brock Lesnar can seemingly put on good matches with practically anybody on the roster. So, we'll have to see what they do next, but I don't see Braun Strowman getting a rematch here. So when they put the belt on him, I'm not sure when that'll be, because it should have been last night, and they didn't do it. So what they've got planned for Brock Lesnar next, it looks like it's Roman Reigns, possibly at the Rumble, maybe Survivor Series. Are they going to wait out until WrestleMania? You need a world champion that's there every week, and it could have been Braun. It could have been Braun. Anyway, I'm going to give this pay-per-view a rating of 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed the Miz match. Finn Balor against Bray Wyatt was alright. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins retaining their titles was good. I thought Roman against Cena had its nice points. New Cruiserweight Champion, it does mix things up a little bit, so I'll take that. And at the end of the day, did you get your $9.99 worth? I would say no. But it was alright. But the two big matches, the two big main events that should have been at WrestleMania, didn't deliver. So a bit scared for this next year's WrestleMania then, if this is the best they can do. They've got a lot of work to do if this is the two big matches they can put on. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Smash the likes, comment your thoughts down below. Take care. Spike your hair.